Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to brainwash ourselves with the velocity banking concept, being debt free before we go to sleep because it's almost bedtime. It is almost bedtime. And I know there are some of you out there who want to be brainwashed. And how do I know that? Is because we are watching so much of this channel 49,000 watch hours. That's like almost, I think that's more than 5 years worth of watching done within like 1.5 years. This channel is about 1.5 years old. So people want to be brainwashed because they want to be debt free. They're stressed from their debt. And we're going to learn how to do that today with velocity banking. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy using a line of credit as your main operating account. So, what are the two things that we need to do velocity banking? Number one is the budget. Budget's easy: income, expenses, leftover savings. And then what you do is you do your expense breakdown and list every single debt that you have, and anything that is not a debt, you can just put in this other category right here, just giving an estimate. Okay. And then the next thing we need to do is have a line of credit as our main operating account. So it's a line of credit. All it is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay it back, and use it over and over again. And that's where we have credit cards and personal home equity lines of credit. And as of today, I have over $547,000 in lines of credit. 547. Now I know there's some of you out there who are like 547, and you give me that Home Alone face, the Home Alone shocked face. Yeah, I would have thought that too, because like, who needs that much? But here's this crazy thing about lines of credit: banks don't lend money to people who need it. So I always got it when I don't need it, and that's how I have $547,000 in lines of credit. Okay, so as you can kind of see here, this is our budget, and the whole point of the strategy is to pay off debt. That's all it is. The more debt that we pay off, the more cash flow we get, and then once we paid off our debt, then we might have some savings, but we're going to be at a point where when we do have savings, we're going to have what we call rich people problems, meaning we actually feel nervous about having savings, right? You ever hear people like, well, if I have $100,000 of savings, I feel bad about that because I'm missing out on opportunities, right? Like if my money is in a savings account growing at 0.1% and I'm missing out on a 12% opportunity, I'd rather have my money actively working. So that's kind of where you get to rich people territory. But if you're broke because all your income is going to debt, right? All of it's going to debt, and you only have $242 left over, we can increase this by eliminating debt. That's the whole point of the strategy. Okay, so let's just assume that we have a line of credit, so maybe an $80,000 line of credit. So think of this as an $80,000 credit card, and then you can go to the bank's website, click a button, and say, "Hey, I want $80,000." Like, is that really possible? Oh, it is really possible based on your lender, right? I got this one, my home equity line of credit. Could literally go in, click a button, and then they'll deposit up to $280,000 in my checking account at an 8% interest rate. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to use our line of credit as what we call our main operating account. So, what does that mean? Is that when we get paid, all our money just goes into the line of credit the moment we get paid. And then once um, our expenses need to come out, just take it from the line of credit, right? That's all main operating account means in this sense. Like you don't have to tell your bank, like hey, Mr. or Mrs. Bank. Even though I don't know if you would actually call anybody Mr. or Mrs. Bank. I need to make my line of credit as my main operating account. They'll have no idea what you're talking about, right? They'll have no idea what you mean by doing velocity banking. Some people actually go to the bank and like, I want to do this velocity banking thing, and it's like velocity banking is the strategy, right? It's the implementation of how you use your money, whereas the bank sells the tool. It's kind of like going to Home Depot, right? Like if you tell Home Depot like you were going to build a custom house that has a certain plan to it, they don't really care because they just want to sell you the tool. Same thing with the bank. They only want to sell you the line of credit. They don't care about what strategy you're using, although they would love it if you didn't pay them off too early, right? So what's the difference between the average American and the velocity banking side? Well, we always assume that we have the same income, but we don't need savings. So we're doing the thing that people are afraid to do, And I'm brainwashing you all of what my checking account, savings accounts are like. $0 in the beginning, $0 at the end, because if I'm not actively applying my money in debt, I'm just losing out, and I know that I am. Where am I? Okay, here we go. So we're gonna make sure that at the end of every single month, we don't need any savings. And I'm not giving you any financial advice because that's not what I do. I'm just telling you what I do. Okay, I'm just telling you what I do. And as a person who pretends to be rich on YouTube, whoops, did I say that out loud? I've actually paid off my mortgage under 3 years. Okay, because I applied all of my money into debt, all of it, all of my money into debt. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and copy and paste this. And instead of savings, we're going to have something called cash flow. And one of the things that we're going to do is maximize this cash flow number by moving some debt into the line of credit. That's all we're going to do. And the easiest debt to start off with is credit cards. So if you add these three credit cards up, it's $52,000 of debt. So we're going to assume we have an $80,000 home equity line of credit. So think of it as a huge credit card based on the value of your home minus any debts that you have on it. And so if I move this $52,000 of debt, guess what happens to right here? This goes to 0, 0, 0. And let me just confirm it's $52,000 of debt. 15 plus 27 plus 10, yeah, 52,000. Okay, so you might be thinking, "Whoa, how'd that happen? $242 of savings. Now we're at almost $2,000 of cash flow. That's insane, right?" So what you do at this stage is you're going to put your entire 6,000 into this line of credit as an overpayment, and then whenever you need to take out the 4,000, that's when you do it to pay your expenses. And after every single month, the balance goes down by 2,000. Isn't that crazy? Right? Like, how'd you go from 242 to 2,000? That's an insane multiplier, right? And all you're doing is paying off debt and reworking how you're handling the money. That's all it is. Pretty crazy, right? All right, so now the next step is to calculate the next month's balance, right? This is month zero. And what we do is we're going to just add a +1 right here. And then right here, it's G2 plus H2 minus 1934.81. So what did I just do? In order to get the next month's balance, it's just these two right here, previous month's balance and interest minus our cash flow, right? 1934.81. Oh, wow. Okay, so let me actually do this. I need to format this correctly, right? So let me go ahead and format this, format cells, and I got to do currency. So currency, or I could do accounting, either one is fine. Why I turned to British pounds? English, United States. All right, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to do red when it's negative. All right, so now, okay, 52,000. And to calculate the interest, it's based on what we call the average daily balance. And let me zoom up here. All right, let me go ahead and zoom up. And so now, to calculate the average daily balance, we get this average function right here. That gives you an estimate of the average, right? And then you multiply it by the interest rate of the line of credit. It could be 8, it could be 15, it could be whatever. And then you divide by 12, okay? And so what you do is you just copy and paste, right? Copy and paste. And then you can see after every single month, the balance goes down about $2,000, like 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, and so on and so forth. And look how easy that is. Look, I love easy solutions. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how easy it is. In fact, I could make the same video over and over again just because it's so easy and so stressless, right? Not stressful, it's stressless. Okay? And then you can see after 30 months we paid off all of that credit card debt. Oh my goodness, that was so easy. Are you brainwashed now? Because I'm brainwashed. I've been doing this almost every single day for about a year, and I'm like totally drink the Kool-Aid, right? I've drinking the Kool-Aid more than you have probably, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. And so let's write our milestones, which is 30 months, right? So at 30 months, we paid off 52K of debt. All right, we got that. Now, what we got to do is figure out what the balances of these loans are, and we're going to go ahead and do that with our loan calculator. So let's see if it's set up. And I'm actually not going to pause the video because I want to just set it up with you in real time. But let me go ahead and copy and paste these loans, right? So I'll just go ahead and do this and go here. And these are from another demonstration. And if you have a cool loan calculator like this, right, you just need like two formulas: payment, current balance, and then I guess CFI, but let's just go ahead and fill in the numbers. So if the original balance is 17,000, right, and then 12% interest rate. Car years are usually 5-year terms, although you could change this like 6, let's see, 7, and then that'll auto change the payment amount. But let me do 5, and then this one is 33,000, right, and 6.1% interest rate. Student years loans are usually 10-year terms, and you can see it auto spits out the payment, and then it's going to be 220000 at 6% for 30 years, and so on and so forth. And then if you put in the current month, right? So what's the current month right now? And go to the Velocity Banking spreadsheet, which is, oh, it's not this one, the wrong one. It's in 30 months. We can see what the current balances of these are. And I'm just going to go in here and I type in 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, 30, right? See how easy that was? If you know the correct formulas to apply, then it'll calculate everything for you. And look how easy that was, right? So, and so we do at this point is just look for loans to move into the line of credit, right? And you see this one right here, $9,000, and we get $378 of cash flow back. So all I gotta do is just copy and paste this, and I'm simplifying the process, right? So I'm just gonna copy and paste this, copy and paste, do this, values only, and then just gonna just add this, right? Plus 9759.33, right? And then what happens, okay, I want to show you what happens is that our cash flow increases by $378, right? So now our cash flow is actually 2 grand. Two grand. Oh my goodness. Like this is insane. I can't believe it. I can't believe it as I'm doing it. And I've been doing this for a long time and I love the feeling of brainwashing myself every single day. And look at this new cash flow of 2,300. So I just update it, and we see how long does it take? 34 months to pay off that car loan. Ooh, that was easy, right? That was easy. Love it. All right, so now 34 months to pay off. That's 52 plus 17. Equals 52 plus 17. That's 69K. Okay, great. So now, okay, 69K. And so now with the student loan, okay, with the student loan, let's take a look at what the balance is at 34 months. So this is now 0. This is now 34. This is now 34, right? And so, oh, okay. So take a look at this right here. And we could move the whole 25 grand into the line of credit. Although if you have what we call the cash flow index that's above 50, probably better not to, right? But especially if it's above 100, we definitely don't want to move this thing into a line of credit. And I've talked about this in other videos about how the first lien HELOC is greatly misunderstood. And so if you ever get a first lien HELOC, replace your mortgage. You might want to watch some of the other videos we have in this channel to think about why it may not be such a great idea. Okay, so now what we have here is a 25 grand balance. So we can move this into the line of credit. Well, it's not going to be a big deal. We might be paying a little bit more interest than we have to because we are moving a lower interest rate debt into a higher interest rate debt, although the difference between the percentages is not that much. So let me go ahead and copy and paste this. And then I'm going to do values right here. And then what we're going to do, okay, is 25587.21. All right. And when we do that, guess what happens here? We get this cash flow back of $368. And now, okay, after this is done, guess what? Then all we have is the mortgage. Okay. So we need to update this cash flow, which is 2680.99. And let's just go ahead and copy this right here. And then we just do control, copy and then paste, and then copy and then paste. And then here in 44 months, wow, that's so easy. Oh man, that's something I'd like to brainwash you all. That's super duper easy. So 44 months, and it's 69 plus 33. So that will be 102K. All right. So 102K, it's all done. Oh my goodness, that was incredibly easy. Wow, 44 months. That's a little bit over 3 years. Okay, so now the final thing we have left is the mortgage. So let's figure out 44 months. What's the balance, right? So it's 209, and we definitely do not want to put this whole thing in a line of credit because we don't really get that much cash flow for it, right? So what we can do is we can do what we call the chunking method, which is just putting uh, pieces of it into a line of credit and pay it off quickly, right? And luckily we have a velocity banking calculator for that. So give me one moment to open it up. There we go. We pulled out the velocity banking calculator by Renatus. The cool thing is we just type in the info and it auto spits an accelerated or the interest that we pay when we pay it off quickly, right? So 5.1 years with our cash flow. And some people get really obsessed, like, what's the optimal chunk amount? Let me move this to 8,000. It's probably going to increase just a slight bit, 8,000, right? Honestly, this chunk amount really doesn't matter that much. Is what's more important is this cash flow, okay? That's a lot more important than the debt payoff order. Way more important, right? So one of the things that I'm just going to say is that a lot of people on the internet are like, you should replace your mortgage with the line of credit. So if I do this, look how that jumps up. But the interest rate difference is not that great. But then if you go from like 3 to 8, oh my goodness, the thing goes crazy, right? But again, this is 49 grand of interest. But if you just do small chunks, it's 34. So why leave 15 grand on the table, right? So you don't want to do that. So that's why I like the chunking method, especially when you got an interest rate difference, is way superior. In fact, if I do 30%, how much more do I pay? Yeah, I pay about 6 grand, right? So you can even use a 30% credit card, and it'll still be all right. Although just use the lowest interest rate possible. All right, so now let's go ahead and copy this 5.1 years. So let me just do this right here. 44 divided by 12 plus 5.1. All right, 8.77 years, and we are debt free. Okay, are you brainwashed yet? Are you brainwashed? Is anybody else in your family, friends, circle, social circle brainwashed being debt free? Am I debt free? Actually, I am. Well, not completely. I got some debt that I'm carrying at 0%. But take a look at this. Man, I brainwashed myself so much that I paid off my home mortgage under 3 years. You take a look at this. This is paid off under 3 years. Now, actually, now that we know we've done the demonstration of paying off all of our debt in about 8 years or so, let's end by getting ChatGPT. All right, so ChatGPT, right, and then we're gonna ask ChatGPT, can you let's see. Let me think about this one moment. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I got. Okay. So there are many of us out there who want to do velocity banking, but are afraid to apply it. Can you brainwash us into thinking that we should do it? Okay, so let's go ahead and see what ChatGPT uh, says. I wouldn't call it brainwashing. Okay, okay. Well, let's read the response. And I like this response, right?
I wouldn't call it brainwashing, but let me challenge your mindset and shift your perspective so you can feel empowered to take action with velocity banking. 1. Understand what fear is costing you. Fear of trying something new could mean sticking with the status quo, a 30-year mortgage, high-interest debt, and missed opportunities to build wealth. Imagine how much financial freedom you're giving up by waiting. How much too? Reframe your fear into opportunity. Instead of thinking, what if it doesn't work? Ask yourself, what if it does? Velocity banking isn't about risk, it's about strategy. It's not gambling, it's calculated, mathematical progress toward financial independence. 3. Think like an investor, not a saver. Savers hold on to money, losing purchasing power to inflation. Investors use tools like HELOCs to make their money work harder. Why keep doing things the way the banks taught you, knowing they profit the most? Start small. You don't need to dive headfirst. Apply a small piece of the strategy, like using a credit card float or shifting a manageable amount of debt to a HELOC. The confidence you'll gain from small wins makes the bigger moves feel natural. 5. Visualize the payoff. Picture your life without a mortgage or with debt-free cash flow. Picture the vacations, stress-free evenings, or even the investment opportunities you can seize with financial flexibility. Hold on to that image. It's worth overcoming hesitation. 6. Join a community. One of the best ways to combat fear is to surround yourself with others who are on the same journey. Watch case studies, listen to testimonials, or share your concerns in forums where experienced velocity banking users can guide you. 7. Remind yourself of the math. Velocity banking isn't a leap of faith, it's math. Numbers don't lie. Run your specific scenario and see how much time and money you'll save by using the system. What's holding you back now? Let's tackle it together.
Let me add to that. So ChatGPT says I wouldn't call it brainwashing. I'll just say it's okay to call it brainwashing. I have such great mental blocks that I need to be brainwashed. Let's see how it responds. Okay. Let's go full brainwash mode. Oh, reboot this thought. I like this. Okay, okay, okay. So, oh, this is the response I wanted. I need to be brainwashed. I know there are some of you out there who exact this is exactly what you needed, right? So let me go ahead. Let ChatGPT finish. Wash, dried, and set for success. Let's go ahead and read it out loud.
All right, let's go full brainwash mode and scrub those mental blocks clean. Here's your mental reboot, the bank's biggest secret. Banks want you to live paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because the longer you take to pay, the more interest they collect. They conditioned you to believe that debt is normal and that a 30-year mortgage is just the way things are. Reboot this thought. Every dollar I give to the bank is a dollar stolen from my future. The lie of security. They told you savings accounts keep you safe. Safe from what? Inflation is eating your money and interest on loans is draining it faster than any 1% savings return can refill it. You're paddling upstream with a leaky boat. Reboot this thought. Money sitting still is money dying. My money needs to move to make me free. Break the debt chains. Carrying debt like it's a family heirloom? Drop it. Debt is not a badge of honor. It's a trap. The faster you break free, the sooner you get to keep all your income instead of handing it to creditors. Reboot this thought. I own my money. My money doesn't own me.
The velocity mindset!
Think of your
Where'd
money
that come
as a
from?
team of Olympic sprinters, not lazy couch potatoes. With velocity banking, every dollar you earn is sprinting toward your goals, crushing debt and creating freedom.
Reboot this thought.
I'm the coach of my money. It runs where I say, and I say it wins. Stop worrying. Start winning. Fear is the chain that keeps you in the rat race. The truth? There's no big risk with velocity banking if you plan and execute. The real risk is staying stuck for the next 30 years. Reboot this thought. Fear is temporary. Freedom is forever. The final push. Every day you hesitate, you're letting the system win. Do you really want to look back years from now and say, I wish I had started then? Reboot this thought. I'm not just starting velocity banking. I'm starting a revolution in my life. Congratulations, your brain has been washed, dried, and set for success. Now go out there, take control, and make velocity banking your financial superpower.
Yes, so I hope we've all been brainwashed now that it's time to go to sleep. So I'm just going to end the video for today. Paid off how much debt under 8 years? I don't even know. I don't even know. Take a look here. How much was it? $322,000 of debt. Oh, this is the best brainwashing ever because it's financial freedom brainwashing. Okay? Well, good night, everybody. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship.